Okay, how do I start this? In order to tell the story of YouTube, we need to go back to its inception. February 1st, 2004, Super Bowl 38. In front of 71,000 viewers at the Reliance Stadium in Houston, Texas, and more than 144 million viewers tuning in worldwide, the New England Patriots defeated the Carolina Panthers by a score of 32-29. Now, to be honest, that's not very important for our story, but what is important is what happened during the halftime show of this event. Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake were on stage performing Justin's hit song Rock Your Body. At one point, Janet had a little wardrobe malfunction which caused her breast to be exposed for something like half a second. Later, a guy named Karim had trouble finding videos of this incident online because back then there was no YouTube, right? So he got together with two of his friends and they made it. You're watching CHM Tech, and in case you're wondering, this is an uninspiring and incomplete history of YouTube presented to you in the form of a non-chronological report. YouTube was founded by Steve Chen, Chad Hurley, and Karim, who were all early employees of PayPal. Just like any other great website, it was initially intended to be a dating service. Luckily, things didn't go as planned. On February 14, 2005, the domain name youtube.com was activated. Interestingly enough, the first video ever posted on the site was not that of Janet Jackson's nip slip, but that of Karim's visit to the San Diego Zoo. In July 2006, more than 65,000 new videos were being uploaded to YouTube every day. At the same time, the site was reportedly receiving around 100 million daily video views. The juicy numbers quickly attracted the attention of industry big fish Google, who in late 2006 acquired the company for $1.65 billion in Google stock. In May 2007, YouTube launched its partner program, which allowed video uploaders to get a share of the revenue acquired by ads displayed on the site. Eligibility requirements varied over the years. In April 2017, YouTube set the eligibility requirement for monetization to 10,000 lifetime views, and in January 2018, the requirement was changed to 4,000 hours of watch time within the past 12 months and 1,000 subscribers. Typically, YouTube takes 45% of the cut, while the rest goes to video uploaders. Some of the first creators to rise to fame in the early days of the website were Ray William Johnson, Fred, Smosh, Shane Dawson, that guy whose name I probably shouldn't say, and others. We've already mentioned Me at the Zoo, the first video ever to be posted on YouTube. The first video to reach 1 million views was a Nike ad featuring Brazilian soccer star Ronaldinho. The first video to hit 1 billion views was Gangnam Style, first channel to reach 1 million subscribers was Fred, and the first channel to reach 100 million subscribers was T-Series. But more on that in just a sec. Originally, YouTube displayed videos in a 4:3 aspect ratio at a resolution of 320 by 240 pixels. In March 2008, a high-quality mode was introduced which offered a resolution of 480 by 360 pixels. Later that year, YouTube went high-def by adding 720p support and changing the player aspect ratio to 16:9. In 2009, 1080p support was added, marking the era of full HD video playback. In 2015, the company upped its video quality game even further by adding 4K, 8K, and even 360-degree video support, though technically the site was already capable of displaying 4K videos starting way back from 2010. In the early days of YouTube live streaming, using third-party tech, the company carried out a series of test streams including a YouTube concert in 2009 and a Q&A session with Barack Obama in 2010. In October 2012, more than 8 million people watched Felix Baumgartner's Jump from the Edge of Space, and by that time, YouTube had already developed its own live streaming infrastructure. The following year, the live streaming service was made available to verified users who had at least 1,000 subscribers. 2013 was also the year when Google integrated the Google Plus comment system into the YouTube comment system, requiring users to have a Google Plus account in order to post comments on YouTube videos. This pissed a lot of people off, including YouTube co-founder Karim, who asked, "Why the f do I need a Google Plus account to comment on a video?" It only took 2 years for Google to realize that this was a bad idea, and in July 2015, the previously mentioned requirement was finally removed. In February 2014, Susan Wojcicki became the CEO of YouTube, and that same year, YouTube announced Music.Key, a service which was relaunched in October 2015 as YouTube Red, and which is now known as YouTube Premium. Motivated by the huge amount of views Gangnam Style was receiving, in 2014, YouTube decided to upgrade its video view counter. Up to that point, the view counter was based on a 32-bit integer, which meant that it could accommodate a maximum of roughly 2.1 billion views. After witnessing the success of Psy's hit video, YouTube figured that shit was getting serious. So the view counter was upgraded to a 64-bit integer, which can accommodate like a gazillion views. And by the way, I know it's kind of unprofessional of me to use the word gazillion, but seriously now, we're talking like a fuck ton. In the early years of YouTube, as it started to really take off, it became apparent that copyright protection was going to be a burning issue. Trials of an automated system that detects copyright infringement began in June 2007. Initially called video identification, Content ID is a system that creates an ID for copyrighted audio and video material and stores it in a database. When a new video is uploaded to YouTube, the system checks it against the information in the database and flags it if a match is found. If that happens, copyright holders have the options to block the video, monetize it, or track its view data. Though absolutely necessary for the legal survival of such a platform, Content ID, to put it mildly, has not been without its flaws. And speaking of things that are not without their flaws, the algorithm. You know that thing that regulates videos that get recommended and stuff? I mean, sure, an algorithm can be used for a number of different things, but when talking YouTube, when someone says algorithm, you can pretty much be sure they're thinking video distribution. So look, I may not be smart enough to figure this thing out and explain it to you, but even if I brought you like an engineer who had a sneak peek beneath the hood, yeah, I don't think that person would know how to explain it from A to Z either. So here's what I will say. In the early days, YouTube favored videos that got more views. So if your video got a lot of views, YouTube would promote it, it would get even more views, and you'd be pretty happy. But people started exploiting the system with clickbait, boobies in the thumbnail, titles that had nothing to do with the actual content, etc. So around 2012, YouTube decided to take the accent off of views and start rewarding more watch time, which meant that the more you could keep someone engaged on YouTube, the better for your channel. But then in 2016, Google released a paper titled Deep Neural Networks for YouTube Recommendations, in which they explained how machine learning is used for, you know what, I don't have time for this shit, link will be in the description. Let's keep it moving. Did I mention the Adpocalypse? It's sort of a tradition here on YouTube since 2017. Yeah, there's been a few actually, but who's counting, right? Anyway, this could be a topic for a whole separate video, but basically what happens is questionable content starts to emerge on the platform, advertisers start pulling their ads, and everyone on YouTube loses money. Then YouTube starts sucking up to advertisers, often at the expense of content creators, and yeah, it pretty much sucks. And oh, let's not forget COPPA. In 2019, YouTube was fined $170 million by the FTC for collecting personal information from kids under the age of 13 that was used for targeted advertising. In the aftermath, YouTubers were required to declare whether their content is made for kids or not, either on a per video basis or as a claim for their whole channel. Videos marked as made for kids were stripped of features including comments, end screens, and personalized ads. Speaking of 9-year-olds, in August 2013, Felix Schellberg, better known as PewDiePie, became the most subscribed YouTuber after surpassing Smosh. Sometime in 2018, the channel owned by music record label and film production company T-Series started dangerously nearing him in subscribers. In response, many supporters of the Swedish YouTuber, including other prominent YouTube personalities, rallied up to help keep him at the #1 spot, and thus the subscribe to PewDiePie meme was born. In 2019, T-Series managed to temporarily overtake PewDiePie in numerous occasions, with the final blow coming on May 29, 2019, when T-Series became the first YouTube channel to hit 100 million subscribers. PewDiePie, on the other hand, is still regarded as the first and, to this day, the only individual YouTuber ever to reach that number of subs. Over the years, a number of genres and trends were established on the website. Here are just a few popular genres, as well as some of their most prominent creators who may or may not be the reason those genres became popular in the first place. Gaming, obviously PewDiePie, Markiplier, The Rad Brad, Edgy Humor, Filthy Frank, iDubbbz, Max Mofo, Commentary, Leafy is Here, Pyrocynical, Tech, Unbox Therapy, MKBHD, Cinematic Vlogging, Casey Neistat, Peter McKinnon, Beauty, Nikki Tutorials, Jeffree Star, React Videos, The Fine Bros, Education, Vsauce, and others. Wait, what genre would you put someone like Shane Dawson in? Or H3H3? Comedy maybe? You know what? Whatever. According to the Daily Telegraph, in 2007, YouTube consumed as much bandwidth as the entire internet did in the year 2000. Nowadays, with more than 500 hours of video being uploaded on the website every minute, YouTube is used by more than 2 billion people who generate a combined watch time of around 1 billion hours per day. According to Google's own report, YouTube had made $15.1 billion in ad revenue in 2019, which made up nearly 10% of Alphabet's revenue in that year. Kind of funny to think all that was made possible just because some guys had trouble finding a video of a boobie on the internet. But hey, thanks for watching, and as always, stay strong.